Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Namaste, Hare Krishna.
Namaste. Because you spend so much time with Krishna ji, what does Krishna Bhagwan mean to you?
The Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam, the Upanishads, the Vedanta present Krishna in a very philosophical and a very profound manner. Bhagavatam begins by saying Krishna is the Param Satya. The fame, the wealth, the education, everything is gone when that person goes away and something called a death happens.
What do you think was the conversation between Hitler when he died? What was that conversation between him and the Paramatma?
You see, a person who has committed such degree of crime and killing, the Lord does not directly deal with them. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptihi dhirastatra namuhiti. Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has used two words here, deha and dehi. Deha means the body. Dehi means the occupant in the body.
The Gyan of Gita, it came out as a conversation between Arjuna and Shri Krishna in a war zone. Why did Shri Krishna choose that specific event, that point, and why did he choose only Arjuna?
You see, you must understand Arjuna's situation.
Whenever someone talks about Shri Krishna, in the recent past, I've seen a lot of people who have been saying that nobody like Radharani ever existed. What is the truth about this, and who is Radharani exactly? Namaste Jai Hind, I am Asdfghjkl and this is The J Report, a podcast where we discuss everything that is happening around the world through a Bharatiya lens. Recently, I had a beautiful opportunity to go to Vrindavan and visit the Vrindavan Chandrodaya Mandir. And on tonight's podcast, we have Shri Chanchalpati Das Ji. Shri Chanchalpati Das Ji is a vice chairman and co-mentor of the global Hare Krishna movement. He is also a senior vice president of ISKCON Bangalore. He is also the president of Vrindavan Chandrodaya Mandir. In this podcast, we are talking about some of the most beautiful and philosophical questions. We are discussing the life of Shri Krishna. We are talking about Radharani. We are talking about Vrindavan. And of course, we also talked about Vrindavan Chandrodaya Mandir and what it is. If you are someone who is going through a tough phase in their life, this podcast is just for you. And if you have reached here, please consider it as Prabhu's Leela and His divine grace. So let's start this beautiful conversation in 3, 2, 1. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Namaste, Hare Krishna.
Namaste. So a lot of people, they tell me that my show's name, it's a bit weird. It's called Avara Musafir. And I usually bring on people who are into spirituality, who talk about big things, who talk about deeper questions of life. And Avara Musafir is not something which they relate with.
Yeah,
So-
when I heard about it, I was also asking our
Yeah.
team, what does this mean? And they explained to me a
Right.
little bit.
So it's an honor to have you here. And I have a lot of deep questions which I want to ask you because since COVID happened, I have turned into a very spiritual person. Before that, I was something which people call a Nastic. So COVID changed me completely. And today, I hope I can ask you those deeper questions and bring out some of the most profound answers.
Most welcome. Let us
Sure.
explore.
Prabhuji, firstly, I want to know because you spend so much time with Krishna ji, what does Krishna Bhagwan mean to you?
Generally, all Hindus regard Krishna as God,
Right.
and he is. He is Bhagavan. Bhagavad Gita says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. But the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam, the Upanishads, the Vedanta present Krishna in a very philosophical and a very profound manner. Bhagavatam begins by saying Krishna is the Param Satya. The Bhagavad Gita says Krishna is Param Brahma. Now, what do these words mean? Srila Prabhupada is our Acharya who presented these ideas, these concepts to the whole world in English language. You know, mostly these are all locked up in Sanskrit, in our Vedic literatures. And not so many of us are very proficient in Sanskrit. And Srila Prabhupada wanted to present, like you asked the question, the deep questions and the equally deep answers from the Vedic literatures in English so that it can reach the world and benefit the world.
Right.
Now, the word Param Satya, Srila Prabhupada translates as absolute truth with a capital A and a capital T. So, what does this mean? You know, even when I became a devotee many years ago, I was still in college, young person, younger than you probably. And I used to wonder, why is Krishna described as absolute truth or supreme truth or the ultimate truth? It's stuck in my head for a long time reading Prabhupada's books, the Shastras, the Vedic literature. You know, we understand this world exists. We are all here. I'm talking to you. And we have our team, we have our family, we have our whatever we interact with, we engage with them. We understand that this is one level of truth, right? We can deal with it. And Krishna has created another kind of an experience for all of us, the dream world. We go to sleep in the night and we dream, right? And in the dream, we do so many things. And then the alarm goes off, and then we wake up and say, oh, that was a dream. So a student may pass an exam in the dream. He can't wake up and say, now I passed the exam. A businessman may strike a big deal and make thousands of hundreds of crores in the dream. He can't wake up and say, let me go and check the bank balance if that money has come. Because the dream is a dream. It was not a real. It vanishes. Now, this world seems to be a little bit more real than the dream. We keep coming back. Even if we go to the dream world, we come back to the same world and we all once again interact with each other. So there seems to be a little bit more stability to this world. Now, Krishna develops this idea in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says in the very beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter, he talks about this levels of reality. And he says, Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubhayorapi drushtontas tvanayos tattvadarshibhihi. You see, Krishna uses two words, sat and asat. Sat means that which exists. Asat means it doesn't exist. Right. Sat is something that is substantial. Asat is not substantial. Like the dream was asat, right? The money we earned in the dream is asat. Right. We don't care. I become a crorepati or I lose money. It was a dream. It was a nightmare. It's gone. We will shake it off. And we work hard in this world. But then Krishna explains that in our previous life, we were in another situation and we made money there. We had relationships there. We fell in love with somebody there. But there is one alarm that rings in everyone's life. And we wake up from that. And then we can't go back to that situation again, isn't it? Where is all that relationship we had in our previous lives? It's all gone. Yeah. So, This world looks like a little protracted, expanded dream. Also doesn't exist in a sense. All the money we make, everything we go away. That's what has happened to people, rich people. They die one day and they go. And then all the, the heirs, they come back and let's divide the money. And the person who earned the money with great effort and passion, he can't access that anymore, isn't it? The fame, the wealth, the education, everything is gone when that person goes away and something called a death happens. So now, like this, Krishna explains that Sat or Asat, the important criteria is whether it will endure. Something that endures is called Sat, and something that does not endure with time is Asat. And Krishna says, Ubhayorapi drushtvontas tvanayos tattva-darshibihi. Tattva-darshibihi. Tattva means the truth. Darshibihi means, darshi means one who can see the truth, have concluded by studying the nature of Sat and Asat that endurance and non-endurance is the criteria. So in that sense, this world does not exist in a sense, right? It is temporary. It doesn't exist, meaning it's not that it is not having substantiality in terms of endurance. It will vanish and it's gone one day. So now Krishna brings, there is another question. So the dream was obviously Asat. This world is also in one sense Asat. Then where is the Sat? Now Krishna says there is another level of spiritual reality, and that is Sat. And that Sat world has come from a source, and the source of that Sat world and the Asat world, everything has come from one source, and that source is a person, and that person is called Krishna, and who is the supreme absolute truth. So, say for instance, there is a man who came from a village. He didn't have anything. He came to the city. He worked hard. Said 20 years, 30 years, became a rich man. He built a house and became a fairly rich man. And then he invites you, please come and see my house. You go to his house and then you look around, nice draperies, nice interiors, nice house. And then, this man had nothing. And now he came, worked hard, and he has built this house. So from him, the house has come, isn't it? House was not there. It's his efforts, his energy, his money. So his efforts has manifested in the form of the house. In this, just like from a person, the house has come, we can say. In the same way, there is Krishna. From him, the spiritual reality, the material reality, and all existence appears.
Right.
And that person is the Sarva Karana Karanam. He is Krishna. So this is the kind of a sense we get from the Gita. When you read the Gita, when you read the Bhagavatam, you get a certain perspective of reality, right? We are all looking at through different perspectives. The right perspective, the left perspective, the historical perspective, the scientist perspective, Western perspective. So many perspectives are there. Now, let's look at the world through Krishna's perspective, the Gita perspective. That's what Bhagavad Gita presents. And so we see Krishna as the absolute truth, as a person, absolute person, Sarvakarana Karanam, cause of all causes, source of everything. And that is the way Krishna is presented in the Vedic literature.
But why is this? For example, today your team they took me to all the temples in Vrindavan, and there was this one place where Prabhu has played his Leela, and there was this very old tree over there. I've been told it was around 5,500-year-old tree,